What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at Stokastic's MLB DFS Lineup Generator for tonight's slate. While you're coming in, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. I'm going to be looking at lineups here for both DraftKings and FanDuel, see what comes out of the generator. And by the way, if you have not yet signed up for the generator, you can still get it for 50% off your first week using the link in the description of this video on YouTube or in my tweet if you are on Twitter. I'll have a link there so you can get this for 50% off. It'll be just $4.48 for your first week. It's just going to be $8.95 a week after that. Still a great deal. This tool is only giving you lineups that have been found to be long-term profitable lineups. So these have been run through the Stokastic Sims thousands of times, and these are the lineups that have been found to be profitable over the long haul in these Stokastic Sims. Let's take a look at what we're getting today. I'm going to start on DraftKings. I'm going to do all stack types, and I'm going to do all lineup types. Not going to lock in anybody. First lineup that we get here, of course, we've got the Yankees in Coors Field, a 5-man Yankees stack to start with. It's a 5-0 stack with William Contreras, Corey Julks, and Nick Castellanos as one-offs, along with these Yankees bats. Of course, we have Johan Oviedo at 4.2% ownership, really bringing down the overall ownership of the lineup. And then Spencer Strider, chalky, 42% projected ownership, but projects extremely well. As you can see here, this one is on the chalky end of the spectrum, probably a little bit chalkier than I tend to like. Let's take a look at how this looks in top stacks tool, top pitchers tool. And of course, when I say it's chalkier than I like, it's nitpicking. Every single one of these lineups has been found to be profitable over the long haul in large field GPPs. So taking a look at the pitchers to start, Johan Oviedo and Spencer Strider. Of course, Strider, top of the board in terms of top two pitcher odds, 37% chance of being a top two pitcher. And then Oviedo down the board a little bit, just a 5% chance of being a top two pitcher, but 20% chance of being a top two value pitcher. So it really allows you to pay up for those Yankees bats and Strider in your lineup. Good lineup. All right, let's take a look at let's take a look at the top stack tool first. Yankees are going to be, top of the board, 17% chance of being the top stack at 17% ownership. They look really good in Colorado. Great matchup with Connor Seabold. Obviously, if you can get to the Yanks, they're the best stack on the day in terms of projection. All right, going to save that one. Now this one, we're not using the Yankees here. This one you can see jumped way over to the contrarian half of this meter here. This one is a 4-4 Rockies and Twins stack with Kodai Senga and Spencer Strider as the pitchers. Senga, again, under 4% projected ownership. He's going against the Dodgers, so a little bit of a tough matchup there. But Twins at reasonable ownership, everybody around 10%. Willie Castillo, Carlos Correa, Kyle Farmer, and Donovan Solano, all right around 10-12%. And then we've got these Rockies bats, so they're in Coors Field as well, but coming in at much lower ownership than the Yankees are getting. Randall Grichuk and Elias Diaz, 5% and 4% in Coors Field. Jurickson Profar, 6%. Ryan McMahon, 8%. So looks like a nice contrarian lineup here. You're still taking advantage of that Coors Field environment, and then you get the Twins in there as well. They are in Oakland, so not a great place for hitting, but facing a not great pitcher. Can't remember off the top of my head who it is, but okay, we got Spencer Strider and Kodai Senga as the pitchers. Of course, Strider, top of the board and top two pitcher odds. Senga, fourth overall, 15% chance of being a top two pitcher. And then we had the Twins and the Rockies. The Rockies looks like are sixth on the board in terms of top stack odds, 5% chance of being the top stack. The Twins just ahead of them. Twins sixth, Rockies seventh. Both have about a 5% chance of being the top overall stack, but the Twins also have a 15% chance of being the top overall value stack. And then we had, who is pitching for Oakland today? Hogan Harris. That's right. Hogan Harris pitching for Oakland. So good matchup for the Twins there. Looks like a good lineup overall. I'm going to save that one. Now I'm just going to go through and save 20 lineups, see what comes out. And you can see here we got a lot of Yankees at the top of the board, not as much as we were getting yesterday. So our highest owned bat here, 55% owned Anthony Rizzo, 55% Harrison Bader, 50% Spencer Strider. So a lot of Yankees, but we're not getting like 80% of the Yankees. So that is good to see. This is probably fine for me if I get to this much Yankees on a slate, even though it's a large slate. If I'm playing just 20 lineups, I don't mind being a little bit more condensed on one team. If they look good in the tools, I'm okay with that. I might want to mitigate my risk a little bit by getting rid of a few of these Yankee stacks, maybe try to find some other unique stacks in there, maybe go back, find some contrarian lineups. But in 20 lineups, this is probably just fine if you don't have time to go back and find some other non-Yankees lineups to throw in there. So I like the way these ones are turning out here. Let's take a look at FanDuel as well. FanDuel, again, I'm doing all stack types, all lineups, not locking anybody in. First lineup we got here, of course, Spencer Strider as the pitcher. I'll move it to FanDuel in the top pitchers tool. I'm guessing Strider is going to be the top of the board. Sure enough, 14% chance of being the top pitcher on the board. He is coming in at 38% ownership. So definitely negative leverage on Spencer Strider here. At the same time, though, pitcher, you don't necessarily need him to be the top overall scorer. So even though he only has a 14% chance of being the top pitcher, maybe has a 50% chance of being a top 3 pitcher, and that might be good enough, although you are paying up for Strider. So keep that in mind, but he's going to look good in your lineups on FanDuel as well. And then we have a 4-man Yankee stack, 3-man Brewers stack here. Getting some ownership on the Yankee side of things, but then Blake Perkins, 1% ownership, Joey Weimer, 3%, Willie Adames, 18%. So kind of on the chalkier end of the board, but we do have some low-owned bats bringing down the ownership in this one a little bit. Looks like a nice lineup. And of course, in the top stacks tool on FanDuel, let's take a look at where the Brewers are. I'm guessing the Yankees going to be top of the board still. Yeah, Yankees, 21% chance of being the top stack, and then the Brewers down at 6% chance of being the top stack. So they still look pretty good in Great American Ballpark. Probably, those are the top 2 ballparks you can play in, Colorado and Cincinnati. Some nice game environments there. And then Spencer Strider, yeah, we already looked at, is the top of the board. So I'm going to save that one. Now this one, much more contrarian than the last one. We still have that 4-man Yankee stack, but then we've got 2 Mariners, and then we've got 2 Nationals. Joey Meneses at 1% projected ownership, CJ Abrams 1% projected ownership, Julio Rodriguez 5%, and Teoscar Hernandez 8%. So really bringing down the ownership. And even within the Yankees, we have a 3% owned Jose Trevino. So got a little bit contrarian within the Yankee stack. We still have Spencer Strider as the pitcher here. Let's take a look at where Seattle is in the top stacks tool. Yeah, lower half of the board, they've got a 4% chance of being the top stack at 3% ownership. So they look okay against Michael Lorenzen. And the Nationals against Steven Matz, 3% chance of being the top stack. We're only getting two bats from each of those. Of course, individual bats can work out, and they're coming in at under 1% stack ownership. All right, now I'm just going to go through and save 20 lineups, see what comes out. And in the end, we got 90% Spencer Strider on FanDuel, 70% Gleyber Torres, 45% Buxton. So the only players I'm really concerned about here are Strider and Torres. I probably would go back and try to get to some lineups that don't have Spencer Strider, and then maybe find some Pablo Lopez lineups, maybe just target some other pitchers, diversify a little bit, because this is taking on a little bit more risk than I want to take on. But again, in 20 lineups, if you want to take on 90%, even 100%, if you want to lock in Spencer Strider, I have no issue with that. I mean, it's all about risk tolerance there. He is clearly the top pitcher on the board. So you just have to understand going in that if Spencer Strider fails, you're probably not making any money today. And then Gleyber Torres, I probably would want to cut back. I actually feel more strongly about Gleyber Torres than Spencer Strider. I'd probably want to get my Torres ownership under 50%. That's just a little bit much, even in Coors Field. So I probably try to get Torres under 50%, and Strider maybe just end up whatever the tool ends up giving me. So anyway, that is how I am handling the lineup generator today. Feel free to use it similar, or use however you want to. Depends on how much risk you want to take on. Thank you guys very much for watching, and good luck today.